Have you ever run across an image and you got to looking at it and it looks like part of it has been duplicated? It looks like maybe there's some copying and pasting being done here. Well, we're going to look at one of the tools within Forensically to show you how you can find that really easily. Forensically is free software. The link for it is in the description. You don't have to install anything or download anything. It just works right in your web browser. When you first bring up Forensically, as you've probably noticed at the beginning of a lot of my videos, is this image here of a UFO or some landscape appears. This is used to demonstrate a lot of the different tools that you can use within Forensically. So we'll use it it's using this image as an example of so we can demonstrate what the clone detection tool can do. You don't have to check any of the other settings. You can just run it right away. It does take it a little while for it to load. And you'll hear my fan kicking up on my computer here as it's processing it. There it is. We've got some duplicated clouds. The parts of the image that it's analyzing, it's going to highlight in blue. And when it finds duplicates, it's going to connect that with a pink line. And so you can see we've got a duplicate cloud here, one here, another one over here. And then we've got a few false positives, just some of these really small areas that look exactly the same. And you can kind of eliminate some of that if you tweak some of the settings. If I bump the minimal cluster size up to 15 over here. We'll give it a second to process that, and that should eliminate some of the false positives there. And we'll see once it finishes. Yeah, and see that's eliminated a lot of the ones out here. Some of the ones on the edge of this UFO are still there. When the person put this on the image, they had some duplicated edging on this UFO, and that's showing up in the clone detection. But our clouds are still there. And we'll bump this back to the default. If you just double click on any of the settings here, it'll take it back to the default. The other thing I wanted to show you once it finishes processing here is the quantized image over here at the bottom. What this does is it shows you what part of the images the clone detection tool is looking at. It eliminates areas that it's all the same image. There's no novel information in it. So if we look at our image normally, we got a lot of blue in here and a lot of green in the bottom corner. So it's ignoring all that. So if we look at it through our quantized image, that's what it's looking at. And it's not looking at the blackened area. So I wanted to bring up another example of this. I've got an image of these ducks here. The photographer, when he took this, he basically took kind of like a time lapse of the duck and superimposed all of them onto a composite image of the duck as it's walking across the ice. I went ahead and took that image and copied and pasted one of the ducks. And we'll see if the clone detection tool can find that. Maybe you can find it before the clone detection tool does. Give it a minute. Now you can hear the fan kicking on my computer as the processor processes this particular tool. But as you can see, yeah, we found the duck that's the duplicate duck. The one on the left here I copied and pasted over here again on the right. I had to clean up the image a little bit, but and again, it's got some really small false positives, but those are pretty easy to dismiss, you know. Let's bump up our cluster size here and see how much of that goes away. We'll give it a minute to process it. And most of them have gone away, and we're back. We've got our duck here. Still detecting the duck. Now if we look at our quantized image here, it's blocking out a little bit of this. There's not a whole lot of, just consistent color through a lot of this, but there are some areas that it's blocking out. And if you change the block size, that's going to change how big those blocks will be. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. kind of neat looking at some of the other tools within this software. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit a like and subscribe. And I release a new video every week. So we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy yourself.